Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our session on Advisor Ambassador Program. Today we have Jeff Chernoff from the Tampa Bay area, who will be talking to us about creating your niche market and really developing that and how to use that to differentiate yourself and build your practice. So Jeff, I'll turn it over to you.
Excellent. Thanks, Chernoff. I currently serve as the NAIFA Florida Vice President, and I've been a member of NAIFA since 2011, celebrating my 10-year anniversary. Thanks for the opportunity to share some best practices on niche markets. Whenever you start to establish yourself in the industry, the one piece of advice that I tell people is establish your niche. Find your target market or your natural market as soon as humanly possible. Because whenever somebody asks what it is that you do for a living or who are you looking to meet, if you say everyone, they will not send anyone your way because everyone is just too big of a market. And so what this presentation is designed to do is to give you some best practices or some tips as to how you can identify what your niche market is. Additionally, I'll share how I was able to identify what my niche market was. As I mentioned, I have been a licensed agent for 10 years. And as my father used to say when he first started in the business, if you could fog a mirror, you could be my client. I very much had that sort of philosophy. As I was growing my business, I was looking to work with people. And about 10 years about 9 years in one of our sales meetings, our company president brought in somebody, and his advice was, look at your top 20% of your clients. You'll find that they have something in common. And maybe it's that they all live in the same zip code. Maybe it's that they're all in a particular industry. Depending on what the commonalities are, you may be able to create a niche market for yourself. And so in 2020, ironically enough, right before the pandemic began, I actually looked at my book of business. And what I found is that my 20% of clients, my top 20%, more than 1/4 of them were attorneys. And so I had been gravitating towards working with attorneys my entire career. I never realized it until I actually did the analysis. And so I found that was a market for me. Another way that you can look as to who could be a niche market or natural market, do the analysis on the products that you sell. So for example, if you work with disability income, do they tend to have favorable rates for a certain type of industry? Maybe it's white collar, maybe it's blue collar, maybe it's a gray collar. If you feel like you have a niche market for doctors, but yet the disability income product that you have specializes in working with roofers, that's probably not going to be a good fit for you. And so you want to look and see how your products match up and line up with who you're looking to target. Take some time and reflect on which clients did you have the best client meetings at, you felt a natural rapport or built with. What sort of commonalities did they have? At our company, we target business owners and white collar professionals. But what we also say is we want to work with the top 1% of people in terms of personality and being nice and welcoming and understanding. We don't want to work with difficult clients. And so we have further honed that for ourselves. And so utilizing client meetings and finding out which could be the best or were the best for you is another great opportunity. I would encourage you to interview, do some market research with people that are in that industry. Once you've identified a target market or a niche market, what are they looking for as it relates to insurance and financial services? Can you create or do you solve a problem for this particular industry? If you do, or if you can come up with a way to solve a problem, you'll be very successful in working with that industry. And then once you've established, market and promote this as a niche market. So going back to the original example that I shared, identified that attorneys were a target market. I reached out to several attorney clients and several attorney prospective clients, and I just chatted with them and asked them questions, and let them do the lion's share of the talking, and ask them, what keeps you up at night as a business owner? What are the things that impact your industry on day to day and 30,000 foot level? And from there, doing 3 to 5 interviews, I found that some commonalities, that a lot of times attorneys are so focused on gaining business that they're not keeping their mind on the things that we offer. They're not doing risk management planning. They're not doing financial planning. They just assume that that's all going to come to fruition. They may participate in a company 401k, but they're not doing any sort of taking care of themselves because they're always focused on trying to get that new client, or at least the attorneys that I reached out to. What I also asked them is, where do you meet your clients or prospective clients, or where do you gain business? Where do you find that there are a lot of attorneys? Fortunately, there are county bar associations or state bar associations, or even federal associations, depending on the type of law that they practice. And so what I did after that is I started advertising with the County Bar Association, specifically in small practitioners section, as well as the young lawyers division, because those tend to be the 2 markets that are most interested in the services that I have to offer. And so, simply just by taking the time to do the analysis on my book of business, I was able to determine what my niche market is. So that pretty much sums it up in terms of how to come up with a niche market. We do have a couple of people on the call, and so if there are any questions, it would be appropriate to ask questions at this time. If not, I'll turn it back over to Emily.
Thanks, Jeff. That was great, helpful information about, identifying the niche market and why it's so important to do that. When you're looking for referrals, to be able to, that part really hit home to me, was that, when you're looking for referrals, you want to be able to say that you specialize in something, so that, it's like, oh, okay, Jeff comes first to mind when it's, when I think of a lawyer who has a need, or I think of somebody else, when it comes to long-term care, those types of things. And so to have that identity, that brand identity created, is just really a great way to differentiate yourself and really grow your prospects into a narrower field. So creating a niche market, fantastic. Great. Well, I think we are good to go. Appreciate everybody for joining, and this will be in the archives on demand very soon. So thank you, Jeff, and we will talk to everyone very soon. Thank you.